Have you ever felt a dull ache in your lower back while standing at the kitchen counter? Or maybe noticed that your posture isn't what it used to be, that you're hunching slightly or not quite as tall as you were in the mirror 5 years ago? You might have brushed it off. It's just age, you thought. Just stiffness. But what if I told you these small, almost invisible changes could be the first whispers of a condition that affects over 200 million people worldwide? It's called osteoporosis, and it's often called the silent disease for a reason. Most people don't know they have it until they suffer a painful, sometimes life-altering fracture, a broken hip, a shattered wrist. Even a simple sneeze can cause a spinal collapse in severe cases. Here's what's worse. By the time many seniors are diagnosed, they've already lost up to 25% of their bone mass, and recovery from fractures becomes much harder as we age. But today, I want to share some good news. Osteoporosis is preventable, even reversible in its early stages. And best of all, you can do it naturally, without expensive medications or confusing diets. This video is not about fear. It's about empowerment. Let's walk step by step through what you can do, starting right now, to rebuild bone strength, restore balance, and protect your independence for years to come. Before we dive into natural solutions, it's important to understand exactly what osteoporosis is and why it matters. Osteoporosis literally means porous bones. In healthy bones, there's a dense, honeycomb-like structure. But in bones affected by osteoporosis, the spaces in that honeycomb become larger and weaker. The bones lose strength and density, becoming brittle and more likely to break. Imagine your bones like a sturdy wooden bridge. Over time, if the wood starts to rot and the bolts loosen, it might still look okay from the outside, but it's dangerously close to collapsing under pressure. That's what osteoporosis does inside your body, often without warning. Here's the scary part. It doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in silently, usually starting in your 30s or 40s, and by the time you're in your 60s or 70s, you may have lost 20 to 30% of your bone density. Women are especially at risk, particularly after menopause when estrogen levels drop sharply. Estrogen plays a crucial role in maintaining bone strength. That's why 1 in 2 women over age 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. But men aren't safe either. 1 in 4 men will experience an osteoporosis-related fracture after 50. And when men do break a hip, they're more likely to suffer severe complications or even death within a year. So why is this disease so common? Well, part of the problem is that our modern lifestyle works against us. Too much sitting, not enough sunlight, poor nutrition, and yes, certain medications and chronic illnesses can quietly chip away at our bones without us even realizing it. But here's the hopeful truth. Just as quietly as osteoporosis sneaks in, you can fight back, quietly but powerfully, with daily habits that nourish, protect, and even rebuild your bones from the inside out. It's time to take back control. Let's start with one of the most underrated factors in bone health, nutrition. When people think of strong bones, they immediately think of calcium. And yes, calcium is important, but it's only one piece of a much bigger puzzle. Your bones are living, breathing tissue. They break down and rebuild constantly. And to do that effectively, they need a full spectrum of nutrients. Let's break it down. Calcium, the foundation. Calcium is the main mineral in bones. If your diet doesn't provide enough, your body will pull it directly from your bones to keep your heart and muscles working. That means brittle bones over time. Good sources? Leafy greens like kale and bok choy. Fortified plant-based milks. Dairy if tolerated. Almonds, tofu, and canned sardines with bones. But here's the kicker. Calcium can't work alone. Vitamin D, the gatekeeper. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium. Without it, All that calcium can pass right through your system and used. Where to get it? Sunlight. 15 to 20 minutes a day. Fatty fish like salmon. Egg yolks. Supplements, especially D3 for better absorption. Magnesium, the unsung hero. Magnesium helps activate vitamin D and is critical for forming the bone's crystal structure. Top sources: pumpkin seeds, spinach, quinoa, black beans, and avocados. Vitamin K2, the bone director. K2 tells your body where to put calcium. Into your bones and not your arteries. You'll find it in natto, fermented soybeans, aged cheeses like Gouda and Brie, grass-fed liver and butter. Don't fear protein. Older adults often eat too little protein, fearing it may harm bones. In reality, protein helps build and maintain bone mass, especially when balanced with calcium. Go for lean sources: lentils, fish, eggs, yogurt, nuts. What to avoid? Colas and sodas. Phosphoric acid can harm bone strength. Caffeine and alcohol in excess can reduce bone density. Highly processed foods. These are low in nutrients and high in sodium, which can leach calcium. Bone-healthy meals. Grilled salmon with sautéed kale, a side of fermented kimchi, and a sprinkle of almonds. Add a prune or two for dessert, and you've got a meal your bones will thank you for. Up next, how exercise signals your bones to grow stronger. No gym required. Stay with me. Here's something fascinating. Your bones actually respond to physical stress. Not emotional stress, mechanical stress. When you move, jump, walk, or lift, you send a message to your bones that says, "Hey, we need to stay strong to support this body." This is known as Wolff's Law. Bones adapt based on the pressure placed on them. No movement means no stimulus, so the bones begin to shrink. But regular, weight-bearing activity? That's like giving your bones a natural wake-up call. Weight-bearing exercises. Your bone's best friend. Not all exercise is created equal for your skeleton. The best types are walking or brisk walking, dancing, stair climbing, tai chi, gentle and great for balance, resistance training like lifting light weights or using resistance bands. Even gentle bodyweight exercises, like squats, lunges, or standing heel raises, can activate your bone cells. If you're starting out, just a few reps a day make a difference. Now you might ask, what if I have joint pain or arthritis? Great question. Low-impact activities like water aerobics and stationary cycling are still beneficial for maintaining muscle mass and joint function. While they're not weight-bearing, they improve balance and reduce fall risk, which is just as important. Balance and flexibility, the hidden protectors. Falls are the #1 cause of fractures in seniors. That's why improving balance is just as crucial as building bone density. Simple daily practices like standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, gentle yoga, light stretching before bed, can strengthen stabilizing muscles and prevent dangerous falls. In fact, studies show that seniors who regularly practice balance-based exercises are 40% less likely to experience a serious fall-related fracture. And remember, it's never too late to start moving. Even if you're in your 70s or 80s, consistent gentle movement can help preserve and even rebuild bone strength. So get up, stretch, and take a stroll around the block after this video. Your skeleton will thank you. But what if you're already doing all of this and still worried about bone loss? That brings us to a more personal topic. Let's talk about hormones. Here's something not often talked about enough. Hormones are silent architects of your bone health. Especially for women, hormonal shifts can dramatically accelerate bone loss. But men, don't tune out. This affects you too. Estrogen, the bone guardian. For women, estrogen plays a key role in keeping bones dense and strong. But during menopause, estrogen levels plummet, sometimes by up to 90%. And with that sudden drop, bones begin to thin at an alarming rate, often 2% to 5% per year for the first 5 to 7 years after menopause. That's why postmenopausal women are at the highest risk for osteoporosis-related fractures. But there's good news. With early lifestyle changes, you can dramatically slow down this process. Testosterone, a quiet supporter. Men aren't off the hook. Testosterone helps maintain both muscle and bone mass. After age 50, levels begin to decline, and if it drops too low, bone loss creeps in silently. If you're feeling weak, fatigued, or noticing muscle shrinkage, it's worth discussing hormone levels with a doctor. Natural ways to support hormonal balance. Here are simple, natural actions that support hormonal health for both sexes. Sleep deeply. 7 to 9 hours helps regulate cortisol and growth hormone. Eat healthy fats, such as avocado, olive oil, nuts, and seeds to aid hormone production. Reduce chronic stress. High cortisol from ongoing stress depletes bone mass over time. Limit sugar and alcohol. These disrupt hormonal rhythms and bone metabolism. You may have heard about HRT, hormone replacement therapy. It can be effective for some, but it's not for everyone. Always talk with your physician about risks and benefits based on your health status. But even without HRT, your daily choices, sleep, food, movement, and stress can naturally tip the hormonal scale in your favor. Still, there's one more powerful strategy that people overlook when trying to protect their bones. And it's not about what you do, but what you believe. Let's wrap up with a surprising final insight. We've talked about food. We've talked about exercise. We've talked about hormones. But here's something most doctors never say. Your mindset, your daily attitude and outlook can deeply influence your bone health. Sounds strange? Science backs it up. Positive beliefs equals stronger bodies. Studies from Harvard and Yale show that people who believe aging is empowering tend to live up to 7.5 years longer. They're also less likely to develop chronic illnesses, including osteoporosis. Why? Because your beliefs drive your behavior. If you believe you're fragile, you'll avoid movement. If you believe aging is decline, you'll accept weakness. But if you believe you can grow stronger with age, you'll take action. You'll move more, eat better, sleep better, and yes, you'll protect your bones more effectively. You are not too old to start. One of the most damaging myths out there is, "It's too late for me." That's not true. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your bones are capable of adapting. Just like muscles, they respond to stimulus. It might take time, but bone regeneration is still possible. So please, don't give up. Start small. Stay consistent. And remember that progress is power, not perfection. Let's recap quickly. If you want to prevent osteoporosis naturally, fuel your bones with calcium, vitamin D, K2, magnesium, and protein. Move every day with weight-bearing and balance-focused exercises. Support your hormones through healthy sleep, nutrition, and stress reduction. Believe in your body's power to heal and stay strong, no matter your age. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really supports the channel. Share your story in the comments. Are you currently taking steps to protect your bones? Or just getting started? Subscribe for more natural health tips every week, especially designed for your golden years. Because aging doesn't have to mean breaking down. It can mean growing wiser, stronger, and more resilient. One step at a time. Take care of your bones. They've been carrying you your whole life.